Some conversations are too risky for the office, too raw for social media, and too real for family dinner tables. But guess what? That's what exactly why we exist. Welcome to the Black Table, where men speak freely and we speak the truth, and it hits differently, and nothing is off limits. So buckle up, because tonight we're unpacking the headlines. You know, you love the scandals, you hate the questions, you're too scared to ask out loud, and behind the wheels tonight, I, Olamide, will be your conductor. But you know, the show can't exist and, you know, function properly without the league of extraordinary gentlemen that join us. When it comes to love, heartbreak, and everything in between, this man has seen it all, studied it, and probably counseled your ex about it. He is a love doctor without a prescription and a relationship and marriage coach extraordinaire. Ladies and gentlemen, a big shout out and welcome Andre Ogbewale.
Thank you for having me
Yes.
one more time.
Yes.
Let's go.
Andre,
Yes.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I've been told that it's important to ask a fellow man how, you know, they feel and how they are. So I've done my part.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
you for responding. And of course, some guests come with stories, but this one comes with an AMVCA award. A creative mind who turns ideas into magic and controversy into conversation. Making his first appearance on the Black Table, please welcome the multi-talented and award-winning Tolu Obanro.
Hello.
Hey.
So how are you?
You made it.
You this time.
I swear you don't have an idea how important that is to me. I am not very fine. I would send you my account details.
I'm expecting I'll send mine back.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Of course, we still have Gang. Is going to be joining us at a spot at the bar very soon. But before then, you know, we have this gentleman. And yes, it's been a very sad week. Some key things happened across the world. Of course, we all know about the passing of legendary Nigerian goalkeeper Peter Rufai, popularly known as Dodo Mayana. And you know, it was pretty sad. He died at the age of 61. And I remember when I was much younger, this is someone I used to really enjoy watching with my mom then. Great goalkeeper, great talent, and we offer our condolences to his family and his loved ones. And of course, the more tragic one happened to the Liverpool football player Diego Jota, who died at the age of 28.
I saw that.
His brother.
I mean, with his brother, it's really sad. And it says a lot about how time is important, how you need to ensure that every single minute you have, you live it very well. So condolences. And my favorite actor, one of my favorite actors, not my favorite, but one of my favorite actors, Michael Madsen, an American actor, also passed away yesterday. So yesterday was very weird for me, you know, losing three people I really admired. Jota I liked, but I also did not like because I'm an Arsenal fan, and this guy used to score against Arsenal on a regular. They put him in games. So it was a big shock. I was driving when I saw the message pop up on my phone, and it really just messed me up. So yeah, I said I'm going to ask every gentleman I see how they're doing, and, you know, find out how their well-being is and all of that. Even if I can't really help, but it's important for men to, you know, talk and all of that.
Just a question of how are you?
Yeah.
You know, how are you really doing?
Yeah.
It shows some form of empathy. You know, you empathize with them, whatever it is they're going through. And, you know, it's kind of good to hear such a thing because people hardly ask men, how are you doing?
Exactly.
So I think it should be something we do on a regular basis.
On a regular, yes. Of course, tonight on the Black Table, we'll be talking about Tubaba's viral interview and apology that caused so much stir on and offline. And for the hot topic tonight, remarriage in 2025, a blessing or a burden? When women move on, it's called self-love. When men do it, the label changes. Now that's what we're going to be talking about. But before we dive into the main show itself, we take a quick break. When we return, we'll be introducing my man Tien Gang.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name is Nachika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name is Damilola Banire.
My name na Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen. And this na Abigail. And I dare on top of you, pigeon. I'm going to bring you bass, boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this.
This na wetin you want.
After that day, the man
No go see
disappear.
am again. If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody. When you dey find the husband, you not see sign say the guy smart, you don't vex, don't give signs. They always.
If they look for person, we go give them to you. Fact as it be.
Men no dey ever get fault. If baby no dey for her,
Na
the woman.
Talk no dey be person yo make person no fit talk true inside. But for this country, we know say if we open curtain in the morning, wetin no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
We no even take responsibility for the children. Leave the man.
And that's some poria.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of your view are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Imagine a country with over 320 plenty languages. Why you go the only focus on Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo? Where we get a common language.
So keep it loud.
You've taught me your papa. Why you not gonna make younger?
How to a holla?
Now here we dey settle all the matter.
Bro, we right here. Nobody better than we, right?
I can always best be that. Make I just be the last sensible voice where you go hear.
Now we be 89.9 Yanga FM.
It's still the Black Table, the Ultimate Men's Guide. And, you know, we took a quick break, but now we're back and we'll be introducing the wise man at the bar. Of course, you can't mention the Black Table without his name. It's the reason Agungi made it to the map. The undisputed king of unfiltered conversations and a walking viral moment. We call him the mayor of Agungi, and we have a reason for that. We also call him the most faithful man in Lagos, Portugal, to be precise.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, gang.
Hi.
Where have you been, gang?
I've been on the streets of Las Gidi, in traffic, hustling and trying to make my way through these streets.
Just to get here?
Just to get here.
Always a pleasure to
You know,
have
my
you
Friday
here.
is never Friday without the Black Table.
Yeah. Great. Earlier, before we went on the break, we talked about the passing away of three iconic people. Michael Madsen, of course, Peter Rufai, and Diego Jota. And it got me reflecting on how fickle and fragile life is and how important it is to ensure that you're living your life the right way and you're living here and now.
And also the impact your life makes, especially, you know, sometimes, you know, your family is a small unit, but these are people that have impacted lives on a global scene and will be remembered on a large scale. Somebody like Jota might not know there's a show like The Black Table, but that's how much internationally he has impacted and he has been recognized. Peter Rufai is a legend. When I heard about his passing, I was like, it just reminded me of the Rashidi Yekini days and one of the great names as well in football. So it's also what you do with your life, your purpose. You don't have to be global, you don't have to be international. You have your family, you have your unit, but it's great to be recognized and remembered.
Question mark, what would you be remembered for?
Yeah. But may they rest in peace until we meet them. God bless.
All right. So, we're going to dive right into today's edition. Music icon Tubaba was a guest on Nedu's podcast recently where he made a few remarks that caused serious turbulence across the internet. Let's check out the video. All right, while we're waiting for the video,
I was about to say, why does Two-Face look like Olamide?
Well, Two-Face is bald, I've got hair.
Don't worry, you'll get there soon.
I've got hair. So,
you'll get there soon.
So, but I'm sure you guys saw the video of Two-Face and what he said on the podcast, and of course the video he put out after that. Let's check out the video. I think we're ready to take it out.
But are you okay?
This thing what they call living in bondage is real.
I know the people already make a die. If you give us one name, is it possible to be a loyal man to a woman?
Well, I've said this a couple of places before. I got into trouble for it, but I didn't care about that.
Okay, say
man, no fit. I don't know. I don't fit. But I will talk for my own self. I don't go talk about. One man not they built to just sexually
deal with one woman. A man is not built to be
heart
one woman.
and love. If you give one
calm down.
Heart, love, respect, and say, oh, this person is my person. You fit. But sexually, it's impossible for man.
But are you okay?
That's from Nedu, new podcast where he asked Two-Face a couple of questions and he said, men are not built to be with one woman. So Lou, I'm going to put you on the spot on this one.
Okay.
Yes. Do you agree with Two-Face?
Well.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. Is Tolu built to be with just one woman?
So it depends. For Two-Face, I'm going to say...
No, I said Tolu.
Well, I'm going to talk generally then now.
Yeah.
So like I always say, who built the man? People, when you talk about maybe building objects, you build them for different purposes. Then when you grow up in a particular way, some people will stay with one woman, not even think of going to another.
Exactly.
But you are talking about somebody that has gone through music, that has gone through the...
Exposed internationally.
Not just internationally, even to all the things that go behind the scene, where you are backstage trying to get on
that.
stage.
You are a filmmaker.
Well, you can't. That statement is very accurate for him.
Okay.
For people that, we have the likes of Davido and Wizkid, and they won't say it the way you just said it. But you can just attach that statement to them too.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah. So, let me put it out.
Okay, after he said that, he put out another video on his Instagram where he apologized and talked about what he did and how he felt he didn't do well. Let's quickly check out that video, and then I'm going to put Andre on the spot.
Well, you already know what I'm going to say. So.
I know I'm going to get cancelled. I'm going to get cancelled for this. I know I'm going to pay the price, heavy price. I'm going to face the consequences. I said what I said. I don't know whether I want people to understand my understanding. And I didn't say appropriately. There's no excuse for it. I own up to that. I own up to the fact that, about what I said. hurts me. My fans, millions of people that look up to me, millions of people that hold me in high esteem. You know, like friends and people that know me, they know that this is not me.
All right, you saw that, and it's interesting. We all know Two-Face, great guy, great musician. Some will say he's a legend because of the status he's earned over time.
Yeah.
But there's so much backlash over both, videos. Now, Andre,
Yes,
I'm going to ask you. This is a man who was trying to be as honest as possible.
Yeah.
During the podcast, and then this is a man who's come out to apologize about what he said.
Yeah.
Does that make him guilty?
Not necessarily. You see, he spoke his mind, like he said, that this is himself. This is his own mindset, right? So let's not crucify him based on his own mindset.
Okay. But why do you think he apologized?
Because of the backlash, obviously. He's an icon, so a lot of people listen to him. Now, don't get it twisted. It is wrong. He's just being promiscuous. That whole concept of one man cannot stay with, that's jargon. Come on now, let's be real. People are looking for excuses to be promiscuous. If they say the same thing, that means the women too
can as well
put
that out. Yeah.
Because if we go biologically in terms of libido and whatnot, for the female is higher.
Exactly, it's higher. Yeah.
So they can decide to be also promiscuous.
Yeah.
So that's no excuse saying men were about you won't cheat. Cheat. Don't try to use
his new wife. However, the question is he still technically married to Annie? Gang, I need to ask you on that one.
You're asking me like I was in the court when
I will ask you. I will ask you.
Okay, I've had the privilege of interviewing Two-Face a couple of years ago on one of my radio shows. And when I tossed a couple of questions to him about, his kids and what all, there was a statement he said that I'll never forget. He said, blessings are blessings.
True that.
You get me? You've been blessed. And he's been blessed with children. He's been blessed with a great career. He's been blessed with his status, you name it. And I think he speaks from a place of privilege.
Yeah.
In terms of his status and what he is, the icon that he is. A great man on this black table once said, a man is only as faithful as his options.
Oh, I see.
It's easy to be a one-woman man when you don't have the options of having certain things thrown at you, being put to the test. Remember, being a one-woman man started from somewhere. Before that, what was the world? What was the population? How were men and women living? But I think it's wrong for him to make that statement and generalize. The same way women generalize and say all men are this, all men are that. It's wrong for Two-Face to say men can stay faithful.
Yeah.
Men can keep to one woman.
Yeah.
It's a decision you make and you choose to stay that way. For him, it has worked for him. God bless him. He can do all the things he's doing.
For him?
It's worked for him.
Not necessarily, though.
Because here's the thing. Because the way that's worked for him, Two-Face is still being discussed in 2025. Do you know how old his career is?
No.
Apart from that, remember when he was with his kids?
Yeah.
Do you understand? And he was with Annie. Sorry that it didn't work out for Annie, but he's living his life. You think this guy he's all right?
But wait, guys. So Two-Face made a statement, yeah, and that statement backs the type of person he has been over the years.
Oh yeah.
He's notorious for having multiple children by different women.
Let me say something real quick.
Yeah.
I know somebody that told me that if Two-Face wants to get down today, she's ready.
So
there are women out, here's the funny thing. There are women out there that are still ready to be with Two-Face. To an extent, he's a victim. To an extent, there's so many women that if they have the opportunity, if they're in the room with Two-Face, they want to know what's up with him and they're willing to get down. If this marriage, this woman he's with doesn't work now, and another woman comes on, she'll be willing. Women are still willing to get down with Two-Face.
But that's just because of his status.
Exactly.
So what does he now do about it? Does he lock himself in a room and say, I'm not going out there, women there that I'm...
But he can choose to say no, though. Right?
He can choose to say no, but he chooses to say yes.
He apologized to his wife.
Yes.
Do you think
Which one of the wives now? The ex or the present one?
I think the new one. The new one.
The current one. We still don't know for a fact if he's legally divorced from.
I think she's a lawyer, so I don't think she would want to dabble into something that is not.
But I mean, there was no statement by both of them, but Two-Face did say "my wife" in the video, and he said that severally across different platforms.
Well, I never did. They got married.
Nigeria take 2 years.
Yeah,
it's meant to take about 2 years. So
at least
we all don't know for sure what the situation is.
Yeah, nobody knows.
I want to ask you. He made that statement on that podcast. Then he's come out to apologize to his wife. Do you think that takes him off the hook?
I think friends, people close to him should just check on him, because
why?
I mean, I'm not saying it's not okay, but I mean, recently we've been hearing a lot of retraction of statements of I did this, I didn't do that, I'm not doing it again. I think as a man, before you go out and make a statement, you have thought about it. You are ready to back it up. I'm serious. So if the apology is okay, I didn't say that again, then I think somebody should know that that's really under pressure, either from the current wife, you can't go there embarrassing me. But I think deep within, that's who he is, and that's why he's able to talk about that. And then talking about men and option, I will always say, I mean, no matter what your status is, you find your level. They have organizers with 4 wives. I'm just saying. Yeah. Come on. Yes, I'm not
about that though.
Yeah, that's serious. There are people on the street selling. I mean, outside guys just pushing trucks.
Wives and children,
you get so. I think it's a matter of discipline and what you are ready to do and not do. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Tony, for that submission. Andre, I do know that I kind of know what you're going to say, and it's really. But I think the viewers wouldn't know. So this whole case here, Two-Face has said something and is retracted and has apologized at the same time.
Okay.
Should it count for something? And do you think people are blowing things overboard, saying that he's got issues? Because there are question marks to his mental health and there are question marks to his status as a Nigerian legend. People are saying that his supposedly new wife has total control over him. Does that make any sense at all?
Again, these are not facts.
Yeah.
Hearsay. We really don't know what exactly is going on. But yes, he made a statement, then he retracted, which means he got a backlash, right? Backlash, either he realized the extent of the statement he made and decided to apologize about it. So we can't really, you see, until you know the facts of the situation, you can't judge. You get me? And in my profession, you always need to hear from both sides.
The details.
Yeah, you can't just assume because you hear from one party and you just summarize that this is what it is. Yes, he said something. Then he came back to apologize and apologized to his wife, which means what he said caused a controversy at home.
Yeah.
If you are not a polygamous person and then you're trying to enforce that on her, you see the mix up.
Exactly. There should have been some form of
you communicate. If you want to, you know that okay, you know what, I'm getting married to you, but I'm going to have. Let that be stated.
Then the woman would choose.
She would choose. So at that point, she has a choice.
For this reason,
yes,
or not.
But when that is, but when that is thrown at you, of course, a lot of things will happen. Hence the backlash.
Sorry, Andre.
Okay, guys.
Yes.
It's 2025. A woman chooses to be with Two-Face and expects him to be a one-woman man. Please.
Come on.
You
get where I'm coming from?
But I think he's currently trying to be a one.
Listen. He should start. He has already.
You know, guys.
Listen, that's the
the phone lines are open, and we have Nicholas calling for
realistic expectations.
Of course, wants to give us his thoughts on what we're talking about. Hello, Nicholas. Good evening. Nicholas, can you hear me? Okay, while we're waiting to connect with Nicholas Gang, you were saying?
Yeah, so first of all, Two-Face, your PR sucks. Obviously, he doesn't have PR. He doesn't have people that coach him and tell him you're not supposed to speak, you're not supposed to go here, you're not supposed to say this, and just coach him into how to present certain things.
Yeah.
The statements he has made basically is in the face of his so-called new wife. That is, if I step outside, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be with just one woman, which she should already have known because of his track record.
I mean,
you get where I'm coming from? So he's already shown you this is who I am. So if you decide to be with him, which Annie did, and she accepted him,
Did she?
Yes, she did.
She did.
Did she though?
She did.
But they are separated now, right?
They are now.
Okay.
And so it's very. We're talking about Two-Face because he's the star in this.
Yeah.
If we look at the women in his lives, what are they going through?
Exactly.
They accepted this man for who he was.
Yeah.
They knew this is what he was, and they still accepted it. The new wife, I'm not saying she should wait and see, but come on. Call a spade a spade.
But you know, this is all assumptions though. How are you sure that she actually accepted him for who he is?
Yeah. Because she's with him now.
It might be. No, I'm talking about his ex now. And it might have been that, okay, once I'm married to this guy, you know, we've been through a journey together. Once I'm married to this guy, he would, you know, see me for who I am
And then might
and
change.
try to change. Again, unrealistic expectations. but
Andre,
yeah.
if you've seen some of the reality shows they've been on,
yes.
If you've been in the industry and you know their history,
oh, of course,
you would actually see that. You know, God bless Annie. I know for a woman it's not easy going through what she's going through. You can see the level of acceptance that she decided to be with this man regardless.
And the level of hurt also.
Yes, and the level of hurt and
that
betrayal
comes with,
and betrayal that she feels.
Yes.
But at the same time, nobody's saying she was a perfect person and didn't put certain pressures on him as a man and a husband.
Yeah.
You get where I'm coming from?
Of course.
So he's the one that has decided to move on and be with someone else.
Well, we still haven't heard anything from Annie. And on that note, we'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about our main topic tonight, the Wheel of Fire, which is remarriage in 2025, especially for single fathers and single mothers. Still the Black Table, the ultimate men's guide, and we will see you right after this break.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia, January 15, 1929. The son of a Baptist minister, King received a doctorate degree in theology and in 1955 helped organize the first major protest of the African American civil rights movement, the successful Montgomery bus boycott. King participated in and led marches for the right to vote, desegregation, labor rights, and other civil rights. He advocated civil disobedience and nonviolent opposition against segregation in the South, influenced by Mahatma Gandhi. The peaceful protests he led throughout the American South were often met with violence. Nonetheless, Dr. King and his supporters were persistent and the movement gained momentum. Dr. King was a powerful orator. He appealed to Christian and American ideals and won growing support from the federal government and Northern White. In 1963, Bayard Rustin and A. Philip Randolph led the massive march on Washington for jobs and freedom. The event's grand finale was King's famous I Have a Dream speech. 250,000 people gathered outside the Lincoln Memorial to hear the stirring speech. In 1964, the civil rights movement achieved 2 of its greatest successes: the ratification of the 24th Amendment, which abolished the poll tax, and the civil rights.
Now, still on the subject of relationships and marriage, there's a topic that's been sitting heavy on a lot of people's minds. Is divorce truly the end for individuals when a marriage falls apart, and even more so when it happens to public figures? From Basketmouth and Elsie, Paul of P Square, Yul Edochie, Tola Odusi, to Femi Adebayo, we've seen quite a number of celebrity unions hit the rocks in recent times. But here's the real conversations in today's world. Is marriage or remarriage a blessing or a burden? And who really benefits from it, the man or the woman? Now, we started this new culture of having a woman join us on the table. And of course, we have a female guest, Rihanna. She's going to be joining us via...
What do you call her?
Rihanna. Like Rihanna, but with a nat behind. And she's going to be joining us via Zoom. And of course, we will be bringing her into the conversation. But before she joins us, let's talk about it. Gang, I'm going to go to you first. Yes. Okay. Remarriage in 2025. Remarriage meaning that this individual probably was married earlier on.
And he's no longer married and wants to remarry.
Basically divorced,
Okay, here's the thing. I wanted to ask a question to the gentleman.
Okay.
But
I'm not part of them.
You don't have to answer it. Some of you are married. I don't know if Tolu is. You're married?
Tolu is married. Yes,
okay, good. So everybody is married here. So the question is, if your marriage fails, would you be willing to remarry? Don't answer. For me, the answer is no.
Your answer is no.
My marriage is not going to fail. But if it did, would I be willing to remarry? I can't go through this twice. I wouldn't want to remarry.
What happens when you start having the motions of loneliness? Because I think that's one of the reasons why people marry generally. You're thinking of companionship. You're thinking of being with
That's
someone.
the reason why it must work. That's the reason why I will not let it fail.
Okay, I think Andre has a contrary
you get where I'm coming from?
response to that because
kinda, you know, because look, you said something, loneliness. If you marry because you are lonely, you will divorce.
Thank you. God bless you.
Marriage doesn't solve loneliness. You are to solve that.
You can be with somebody and still be alone.
Yes, very much. Very much.
You're with someone, but you're lonely.
Yeah. And again, in terms of, now for you to have said that answer, right, that would you remarry? And you said no, because you don't want to put yourself through that same thing, which means you've actually thought about it.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about it. So I can't give you an answer, right? I'm married, yes. But the goal is, you see, this is the thing. Now there's an analogy some few let's say my mentors use, right? If you are in a room with no windows and a door, no door, no windows, right? You are sealed in, you and your spouse, and then a fire breaks out. Would you let it burn you guys alive, or you put it out?
You would make an attempt to put it out.
The answer would be you put it out.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of marriages fail because people have an out. Divorce is an option. Once you take away divorce, you guys will make it work. And that's the truth. But because there's an out, so any little thing, they step out. Aside the fact that a lot of people...
When there's an option.
You see, because you see, once you put up an option of divorce, it would come to that. There will be certain situations that would happen that you guys would refuse to deal with because there's an option. But if you take away that option, you guys will deal with it.
On that note, we need to ask our guest, Rihanna, on what she feels. Of course, Rihanna Ojoba is a strategic communications professional and gender advocate with over 10 years of experience in digital marketing, content strategy, and community engagement. She's also the host of the Counter Narrative podcast, the platform where she tackles fearless gender inequality, reproductive rights, and cultural bias through research-driven methods, storytelling, and much more. Rihanna, it's great to have you on the Black Table tonight. Can you hear us?
It's lovely to be here, and I've been enjoying the conversation. And I was like, wait, when are they going to come to me? So thank you.
Hi, Rihanna. How are you this evening?
I am fantastic. Really happy to be here. It's been raining and it's been really cold. And when it comes to rain, people think sex. And now we're talking remarrying. I think everybody should just get married.
Okay, so quickly, I'm just going to dive in and ask you the question. What do you think about remarrying in 2025 for both men and women?
The first thing I would say is when we say remarry, what are we saying? To marry again. Then the next question, or the next thing I'm going to say is why do people marry? Why do people marry again? And like you guys were saying just now, I heard companionship. And for different reasons, people marry for love, people want to have and to hold, for companionship. Some people want to have children. Some people for financial benefits. Some people for immigration status. It can be for any reason. And it's okay for people to want what they want, to have what they desire.
Yeah.
So if you've been married before and your marriage ended via maybe death, or maybe you guys were just going separate ways, maybe divorce or separation, it's okay to still want it. And it's crazy because you could just say to yourself, I'm not going to do this again. But one thing about your heart is it gravitates towards people. And when it does, do you betray yourself? That's it.
Yeah.
So when people say to you, I want to do this again, then you start to ask them the questions. Why do you want to do this again? Considering that they have done it before. So if I were to answer from the top of my head, oh yes, because that's what the person wants, but are they doing it for the right reason? And I say yes to remarrying because if a partnership is free of oppression, toxicity, abuse, and violence,
Andrew,
and
you still
on whatever I read, that if it's free of all these things that would break your heart, then why not go for it? Why not trust the person and say to them that you want to do life with them? And why do people break up? Different reasons. Some people think, they end their marriages because of infidelity. What if it's not infidelity? It could just be because of something so little that may not be little to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that to bring it back home, you want to remarry. I hope that it is for the right reasons. And I do not think that
There we have it.
Okay, so Rihanna, we have a marriage and relationship coach here, Andre, and I want to ask him a few questions. Andre and I, we've had a couple of conversations, but I want to ask you, Rihanna. I said there's nothing wrong with doing that. However, do you think in today's world, marriages are collapsing because of options, that people have alternatives? Better alternatives?
Not necessarily better alternatives. You see, yes, people have options, the way out, right? So they choose the way out instead of dealing with what exactly is ending that marriage. Because see, the truth is, if you don't deal with it, when you want to remarry, that same issue
circles right back.
It circles right back.
Yeah.
So you are looking at another divorce, and there are stigmas to divorce. It leaves a scar. Now, about remarrying, of course, it's okay to remarry. Even the Bible is not against it. It's not even against divorce. A lot of people kind of take things from the Bible just to, buttress their point. But even the Bible is not against divorce, but it states reasons why. One is...
Okay, Andre, hold that up. We have a phone call from Owerri. Nicholas is calling all the way from Owerri. Nicholas, good evening. Welcome to the Black Table. Hello, Nicholas. Can you hear me? Anyways, for you to join the conversation, the phone lines are 020-1635-2013 and then 020-1635-2014. You can call to be a part of the conversations right here on the Black Table. Now I'm coming back
Can
to
I quickly
Andre.
say something?
Yeah, sure.
Andre has very long thumbs. I just noticed.
What does that even mean?
You have very long thumbs.
Did you see how Andre put his hands away? Like,
what has that got to do?
What's that got to do with anything?
Why has that got to do with conversation?
Very long thumbs. Very long
play video games.
But I want to correct something that Andre said. Now, I understand when I say...
Correct, yeah. That's a strong
okay,
word.
Yeah. I need
no, because
to
he made a statement like, when I based off what I said, and he said, that means I've thought about it.
Okay.
So what I wanted to say was, I've actually thought about many things in my marriage. My dad passed when I was very young.
Okay.
So I've come from a place where I know about widows and widowers.
Okay.
So from the scenario of if my marriage can end in different ways, you know, and sometimes I try to school my wife in terms of what if I am no more, if I'm not here anymore. So from the aspect of that as well, there's where you can come in and think about remarriage.
Of course.
That's why I personally, I think I have found the person I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with.
All right.
And push comes to shove, whatever happens, I don't see myself spending the rest of my life with anybody
Nicholas
else.
is back again.
Oh, Nicholas.
Hopefully we will.
He just wants to remarry and recall so much.
Hi, Nicholas calling from Owerri. How are you? Hello, Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi, good evening. How are you tonight? Welcome to the Black Table.
We're fine, thank you.
We're good.
We're good.
Very well.
We're good.
Thank you, Nicholas. So, Nicholas, quickly, tell us about your contributions.
Okay, on the two-face area, two-face. You see, let me say, for real, Two-Face is speaking, he's speaking the mind of 90% of Nigerians. You understand? Me, I'm a married man. You understand? The truth is that we men, some might pretend like maybe they are like, let's say faithful, you understand, to their spouse. But, it's only God that sees the heart of a man. Brother, me, I am faithful, but the other corner, my brother, it is difficult for us to resist. So Two-Face is not like, I think let's not think the other direction. He's just speaking the mind of, let's say, 90% of men. So there's no reason need any direction that might affect him, maybe in terms of maybe he's not being in hand. So, but on the area of, let's say, for one to remarry, presently I'm facing marriage challenge.
What? You're taking marriage challenge?
He's facing.
Yeah.
Facing marriage. Oh, okay.
I think I
See a
know.
counselor, Nicholas.
So I'm talking to.
I think I know.
Nicholas, talk to Andre here. Oh, we lost Nicholas over there. But of course, he was talking about Two-Face Idibia and talking about his own personal struggles, facing his own marital issues. Hopefully, Nicholas, you can put a call through before the show ends so that we can wrap this up and talk about it. So, Andre, you were saying earlier.
Yeah, where was I before gang?
You noticed your long thumbs.
Oh my God. I play video games, man.
Okay.
Okay, so back to the whole remarrying thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's okay to remarry.
Yeah.
But what are the reasons why you are remarrying? Same thing she said, our guest said, right? The reasons. Now, a lot of people marry for the wrong reasons. You mentioned loneliness. If you marry because you are lonely, you are going to get a divorce. If you marry because of finances, you are going to get a divorce. If you marry because you actually love that person, right? Then there's something to work with. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So no matter the challenges that come, it can be solved. Again, the only time the Bible allows for you to have a separation or a divorce is sexual immorality, right? And then, loss of life, which is death of one partner.
Yeah.
So it gives that leeway. But in that same Bible, it also says to learn to forgive, right? Forgiveness. So which means you can deal with whatever situation it is.
As long as you're
but that's taking
it.
But that's taking it away from the topic. But basically, yes, you can remarry, but hopefully for the right reasons. If you don't marry for the right reasons, you're going to have a divorce all over again.
Exactly.
So which means you need to first deal with whatever it is. You see, a lot of partners don't actually deal with the situation, right? So you have a divorce. One person cannot be the sole contributor of whatever it is that happened. Is it that one party enabled it? So you need to deal with those things, or you are highly part of it. So all those things need to be dealt with. If you don't deal with it, it's just a circle. You get into another marriage, you still have that same problem, even worse.
Well, you probably go with the same type of traumatic experiences.
Exactly. And you know statistics, after a divorce, the rate at which the possibility of you getting a divorce again is higher. Especially if you have not dealt with the issue in the first place. So yes, remarrying for both male and female, excellent, because marriage, you see, marriage in itself is blissful.
Yeah.
But it's people that complicate marriages.
Can I touch on something to Andre real quick?
Oh yeah,
real
sure.
quick.
Yes.
There's a woman that divorced her husband.
Okay.
And she, they went their separate ways.
Okay.
And the man has moved on, right?
Yeah.
She's now her ex-husband's side chick.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Yeah, that happens quite a lot.
She's now her ex-husband's side chick.
So you see.
So I understand where you're coming from, because I think changed behavior matters. If you decide, because if you stay the same and you were the cause of the problem, that problem will reoccur.
Definitely.
Yeah, true. Definitely. Thank you, gang, for that summation. Tolu?
I'd like to maybe add to what Andrew's been saying. So, you said if you marry for loneliness, you face divorce. If you marry for love, you can still
face the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is what I was saying. I mean, there are so many married and then unmarried people, and we can't say love is the singular reason why they are not together.
Love is not enough.
I know, but the same way people marry for different reasons, those reasons might be more important to them than love. No, so like for example, I mean there are like a lot of people. You can't say maybe Tom Cruise is not rich enough. He's been married like 3 times or so. Pamela Anderson. There is Larry. What's his name now? Larry.
The basketball player?
No, Larry, the radio guy, 8 times.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, I think the first thing that will come to the table if you are getting married is, are you going to be committed to this, even when the so-called
difficulties come
love? I mean, the love fades.
Yeah.
That thing love at times is very overrated, and I'm telling you this for a fact. The love will be, I'm committed to you, not I love you, when it gets to a point, because what you feel for love is, I love you, and these emotional butterflies everywhere. You won't always have that. As a matter of that, you can have that for someone else, and it will be, I'm committed to you, that will keep you
how I feel,
in that. And I can tell you that according to our caller now, what's his name, 90% of people will rather just go out and feel better than they feel in their houses than to stay committed and then let's really give in.
I don't agree with his start.
Talking about colors.
No, his stat is wrong. 90% there. He's just
Two-Face spoke his mind,
exactly.
not the mind of 90%.
I almost said that's why he's having his own problem.
We're on
the guy won't work out leave away.
There's a tradition we do on the show called Just the Tip.
Oh, sorry.
And from all the things we've discussed today, I'm going to be asking you to give us just a tip for this evening. It's a form of advice. Forget what it sounds like. It's just a form of advice.
Is Rihanna not married, first of all?
Who's asking? Oh my God. I don't want to blush.
You're already blushing. Too late. Too late.
Is she married? Because I feel like remarrying.
You feel like remarrying? Really? You're two-faced, man.
I'm faithful, but I feel like remarrying.
You won't cause problems.
Let me just do what I gotta do and just go. We can talk about the status off air. Is that okay?
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna be quick. What you do not water cannot grow. You have to nurture and pour into your partners. That is 1. 2, to the men, you cannot keep practicing toxic masculinity. You have to practice a healthy dose of positive and healthy masculinity. It is imperative that you do. And lastly, you have to treat your partners as equal. You cannot lord over someone that is supposed to be your equal. And that is it from Rihanna Ojo Oba. I'm signing out to talk about my marital status after the show.
Thank you, Rihanna. You pour into her later. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, on that note, there's something we do called Toast of the Day. And I would like us to toast to something, but you guys, let's come up with what we're toasting to.
Okay, so since we're all married, right? So let's toast to being intentional every single day. Date your spouse regularly. And as always, have God in the center of your marriage.
Andre
speaks. We accept
can we also add that asking ourselves if you're okay? because it's very important. I think I just love that.
Yeah,
true that.
All right.
Yeah,
I love that.
True that.
Just so you know, I'm never okay. Even when I'm okay.
You are still not okay.
All right, sorry, we can't help you with that.
So cheers.
Cheers, guys.
All right, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. It's been an exciting edition of the Black Table. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Gang, I hope you'll be okay soon.
One of these days, I'll be okay. One of these days.
Of course, the show continues even once we go off air. You can drop all your feedbacks, your comments on our social media platforms, both on TVC Entertainment .tv and of course on the Black Table handle, which is D_black_table_on_TVC. it's a mouthful, but yeah, you can drop your comments and feedbacks on all of that. At this point, I'd like to say thank you again, once again, to the gentlemen and of course to the viewers who stayed true to watching the show. Remember, you can always be a part of the show. All you need to do is call in and share your thoughts on whatever we're discussing, and of course you can give your comments and feedback on social media. On this note, remember, the blacker the night, the darker the stars. And thank you to the gentlemen of the Black Table.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome.
I say good night and good morning at the same time.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Oh, wow. My typical day is filled with meetings, consultations, and of course, traffic. And that's all part of the hustle and bustle of city life. But the real fun starts when I can just settle down and catch up with all my favorite programs on TVC. Believe me, it's pure entertainment.